What is happening, everyone? Bienvenidos. Welcome back to my channel and hit that subscribe button. Join the family. I would love to have you. All are welcome here. For today, if you are also a part of my Instagram family, it is your lucky day because I am recreating the look I wore during a live session not too long ago with YSL. I am one of their ambassadors and I am so proud of it. 2 years going strong now. They have been one of my absolute favorite brand partners. They really just allow me to showcase whatever products it is that really speak to me, speak to my soul. And clearly this eyeshadow right here spoke to you guys because during that live, if you guys didn't tune in, I already had my makeup done because Instagram Live is an hour long. Once you hit that hour max, it boots you off without warning. It's just like, bye, see you later, stop talking. So if I did a full makeup look and tried to interact and carry a conversation with all of you at the same time, I know I would never, ever finish an entire makeup look. For that live, I was focusing on how to build a perfect red lip. I'm gonna do that in today's video as well. But I was wearing this eyeshadow. The amount of comments I got on this shadow, like, what is it? I need to know, please do a tutorial. This is the shadow that was sparkling on my lids. It is the YSL Sequin Crush eyeshadow in shade 01. And it really got me thinking because I didn't want to just recreate the look. I always want my videos to have some sort of educational aspect to it so that you guys can become the best artists out there. And when I was examining this look, because you know, I wanted it to look exactly like how it did in that live, and it was a while back. I was looking at my look and I was like, wow, I really did mix warm and cool tones together to build this look. And I think we have this idea in our head that we should stick to one undertone when it comes to color. So either all cool tones if you're doing like a gray smoky eye, and all warm tones when you're doing a bronzy eye. But you really can mix the two undertones. What am I doing here? And I thought for today's video, I would kind of share how I gauge what undertone I'm gonna use for what, for it to all look like a really well put together makeup look. And when it comes to the skin, we all already know the importance of matching your personal skin's undertone to your foundation. But when it comes to highlighting, we're always told 2 shades lighter, 2 shades lighter, 2 to 3 shades lighter. But I feel like I hardly ever hear anyone talk about the undertone of concealers. It is important as well because in my case, being a light olive undertone, if I go too pink, even though it's a brightening concealer, it can also make me look gray and dusty. So with that said, I'm also gonna be touching on the YSL Touche Eclat Radiant Touch Concealer Pen because they have such a great variety of undertones, and I'm gonna show you the difference between a peach and a pink and a salmon and a yellow and a neutral undertone in order to highlight effectively as well. So enough talking, let's get into this video. I've already prepped my eyelids. You may already know this, but I don't ever really use eyeshadow primers. I use the same foundation that I'm going to be using on my skin on my eyelids, so that way everything blends out really nicely. So the foundation I have on my lids right now is the All Hours foundation, shade BD40. And I also dusted a little bit of the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder in Light from the crease to the brow bone, so that we can go straight into these cool versus warm tones on the eyes. The main focus on the eyes is gonna be this Sequin Crush eyeshadow by YSL. These are so beautiful, and I am very picky about gold and bronze eyeshadows. I want them to be a true gold and a true bronze, and believe it or not, they're really difficult to find. Sometimes they translate a little funky on the eyes. Either they have like a weird undertone, the glitter or the shimmer is weird, and these are just perfect. I think the name is so fitting, Sequin Crush eyeshadow. I'm gonna swatch it before I actually put it on my eyes so you guys can see it. I would consider this a true gold. And this is definitely something on the cooler side, but we are again gonna be mixing and matching cool and warm tones to show you that it is possible. Nothing is impossible when it comes to makeup. You just have to play around with it a bit in order to get a final look that is cohesive and well put together. So for the transition shades, I thought I would use this Bare Necessities palette from ColourPop. It has a really great variety of both warm and cool tones in here, and it'll really allow me to show you guys the difference. I feel like oftentimes I pull out this palette just for this color right here. It is the perfect, again, I'm gonna swatch it for you. It is the perfect balance of warm and cool. So it is neutral enough that you can define, you can add a little bit of shading, but it has that warmth to it. So it can go either or it can go either way with a cool or warm look, which is absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss that into the crease. The next shadow I'm gonna go in with is Tabloid. This one is definitely on the warmer side, but because that first shadow is right down the middle, this color is gonna warm things up, but it's gonna be a really nice balance with this shadow that's right in between both tones. And I'm using a really tiny Real Techniques brush to pack on this color to the inner and outer corners. And once it's on there, I'm just gonna blend with that first brush. If I wanted to go super warm with it, I'd go in with this color right here. See that? It's like a beautiful terracotta shade. And then for the transition shade, I would probably use Hustler or Complicated. This is Hustler, this is Complicated. Let's swatch Complicated. See the difference in those tones? See how the first one is like, you're kind of questioning it, like, is it warm? Is it cool toned? Same thing with this shadow, and then these are clearly on the warm side. Just wanted to show you guys that example. Now that we have that nice balance that's in between, we are gonna go in with a cool tone shadow to deepen things up and add that smokiness without it being black, like a black smoky eye, and also not being so dusty that it starts to contrast with the current colors. So the color that I'm gonna use, I'm actually gonna use that same small Real Techniques brush I just was using. Go in with Taboo. I like the tone I'm seeing here. Nice and cool toned. And finally, I'm gonna go in with that Sequin Crush eyeshadow. This is the shade 01, if I didn't mention it already. And I'm just gonna use my fingertip to apply it to this center part of the lid that currently doesn't have any shadow on it. And look at how perfectly it fits right in with all the other shadows. I should take whatever's left over my finger too and just kind of sprinkle it onto the brow bone. So it's not like I'm not taking a brush and applying it there so it's like bam in your face, but by lightly sprinkling it on there, I feel like you get a really cool effect. And if you love what you're seeing, they do come in a variety of colors, and rumor has it, inside scoop here as a YSL ambassador, that they are gonna be releasing in a satin finish, so stay tuned for that. And then from there, I'm just gonna blend it out one more time and move on to the face. I'm gonna run through my foundation real quick, my skin prep and foundation, because I do wanna go into detail on warm and cool tones on the rest of the face. It doesn't just stop with the eyes. Your blush, your lipstick, it can all make or break. Even your highlighting, concealer, undertone, it can all make or break the final look. So we'll get into that in a bit. Let me just blend this out real quick. By the way, anytime I use the Summer Fridays Jet Lag Mask as a primer, I get a ton of questions. It is a multi-use product. You can use it as a mask, moisturizer, primer. In this case, I'm using it as a base underneath my All Hours foundation. This is my tried and true long-wearing foundation, so I like my skin to be nice and prepped underneath, but the foundation never dries you out, doesn't look dry. It stays on all day while looking like skin, which is why I love it. I want to show you guys the back of my hand because I wanted to show you the difference between warm and neutral and yellow undertone skin products. So this is the Touche Eclat Radiant Touch Concealer Pen. It actually comes in two formulas. This is the original, and then we have one with a little more coverage. So if you want a more flawless, high coverage concealer, you would go with this one right here with the black stripe, and then the original doesn't have that black stripe on it, and this one is just more so like a brightening pen. Great for touch-ups. I'm gonna show you guys that in a bit. But yeah, here are the different undertones of each. This shade right here is absolutely perfect for my under eyes. Again, I think a lot of you are probably already familiar with this concept, especially with color correcting. When I had that moment and everybody was color correcting to the extreme even when they didn't need to, anything with like a peachy salmon, orange, or even red undertone is going to brighten dark under eyes, any darkness on the face, which is great to do before you conceal if you have that issue. For me, it's not so dramatic, but we all naturally get this little bit of shadow and shading underneath our eyes. So to cover that up, I am gonna go in with this peachy tone. Let me just remember which shade it was. Shade number 3 in the original Touche Eclat Radiant Touch pen. I need a handheld mirror for this. And you're just gonna wanna add it right here. Inner corner to this little pocket, what I call the little the little divot underneath your eyes, the little crevice, whatever you wanna call it. I always have a peachy salmon colored concealer on deck for when I wanna brighten and just sort of, sometimes you don't even need to go in with an actual highlighting shade. Sometimes the peachy one blends right in. It doesn't look peach on your actual skin, but because this look is so glam, I am gonna highlight as well. For my highlighting shade, I'm gonna use the Fuller Coverage Touche Eclat pen in shade 1.5. I know that sounds like a really low number, but I really wanna brighten. And you don't need that much, so I'm just gonna add a couple of streaks right here. And the undertone of this one is definitely brighter. It has a little bit of peach, yellow. If I use a concealer that is too pink or neutral, what'll happen is it'll actually dull the look of my skin and it'll have me looking gray. So undertone for your foundation is important, but also for your concealer. Don't just go lighter, also keep in mind the undertone. I think sometimes, in my case, I like to just go lighter. I see the lighter concealer, I'm like, oh, that's a good highlighting shade, but then when I apply it, I'm like, ooh, that looks a little dusty. It was the wrong undertone. So this for me is like the perfect undertone to brighten and balance things out. See how that blended out really nicely? I love it. And I'm just gonna set my under eyes with the Cover FX Perfect Loose Setting Powder. My absolute favorite bronzer right now, mainly because, again, the undertone is just perfect. It's got a ton of crap in it. You can see how much I use it. This is the Fenty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer 03 Macchiato. I am a contour and bronze kind of gal. I like to do both at once because I'm not a huge fan of contouring. I will do it occasionally when I want a very glammed up look, but usually I'm pretty quick with my makeup and I like a bronzer that has that same undertone as the crease eyeshadow, not too warm, not too cool, has that ability to shade and create shadows on your face, but also warm it up. That is what this tone is right here. You see all this hair, like there's like dog hair. I'm gonna, hold up, I'm gonna take off a layer here. She's looking a little better, don't you guys think? And I'm gonna use my new favorite brush for cream products. This is the Persona Blush and Highlight Brush. See that definition? You can definitely see it on this side. Contours, warms up the skin. It's just, I feel like I've seen a lot of people using this bronzer because it's just that good, my friends. And we're gonna go into blush, and blush for me is another touchy subject. You probably have noticed I use the same blush colors a lot in my videos because once I find something that gives me the perfect tone that complements a variety of looks, I tend to stick with it, especially because I've been really into colorful looks lately. So, but today I wanna show you guys, of course, the difference between a warm and a cool toned blush because this look is a little bit of both. This is number 15 Sunset Passione Baked Powder Blush. This is definitely on the warmer side. Let me swatch, see that? But most of the time, I tend to go for something neutral like this because of, again, my light olive undertone tends to easily turn things that are like a nudish color or like a pink, very orange and brassy. So I tend to lean more towards these colors for that reason. I think it's gonna come down to the lip. And that is my general guideline or rule. I either match my blush to the crease color in my eyeshadow or the lip. It really depends. If you're wearing a nude lipstick, then I would match your blush undertone to your eyeshadow. If you're wearing a lipstick with color, then I would match your blush to your lip. Take down those notes. And this brush, also a new brush to my collection that I really love. This is the LAWLESS blush brush. Honestly, when I first used it, I had a texture and teller. Wow, I have never experienced such a lush, dense brush that is extremely soft and just gives me the perfect application. I freaking love it so much, it's so good. One more thing that I want to cover in terms of cool versus warm tones is your face highlight. This palette is perfect. It's one of my absolute favorites. This is the PIXI Glowy Gossamer Duo Delicate Dew, and it has a cool toned pink and a warmer champagne highlight. Great for those days when you're indecisive, if you want a palette that has both undertones. So if you were wearing something that was more smoky and gray in tone, I would go with the pink shade. If you're wearing something that's more so gold and warm, definitely the champagne tone. For this look, I'm gonna go in with the champagne tone. Let me swatch both for you guys actually so you can see it. I'll just do it both at once. See that cool tone and that warm tone? I'm gonna go in with this one right now. Gonna give myself a little mist too before I highlight. Let's get into these red lips, shall we? I already swatched them. We have shade 01, 21, 23, and 28 from the YSL The Slim Lipstick, one of my absolute favorite matte lipstick formulas. Love it. Also just absolutely love the packaging. Like, look at that. It smells so good. Two up top. Those are warm. I mean, sorry. Rewind. The two up top, those have blue undertones. The two on bottom have an orange undertone. So these are gonna be warmer, these are gonna be cooler. I knew for a fact going into this that I wanted to wear shade 21. It is my favorite red from the YSL The Slim collection, because to me this is like the truest red you can possibly get. I'm pretty sure like a blue undertoned red is considered like a true red. I'll let you guys decide that one for yourselves, but I knew I was gonna apply that particular shade, which is why I went in with this cool toned blush. And to further refine this lip, it's a little, it's a little crooked right there. I'm gonna clean it up with shade number 3 in the original Touche Eclat Radiant Touch concealer pen. I like to use the end. See how the end is completely flat? I'll align the brush like so and use that sharp edge. Where was I looking? And use that sharp edge to clean up the lip. A little bit of this powder. Okay, I think I did a pretty good job at cleaning up. You can still see the swatches, that's how pigmented those lipsticks are. But here is that final look that I was wearing during that live. I hope you guys learned something new about mixing and matching cool and warm tones. You don't have to stick to one color palette. It's all about knowing which tones work well together and how to blend the two to get a very cohesive look like you see right here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to share with anyone who is learning how to build a look and combine colors and undertones, or who maybe finds undertones to be a really confusing topic. Share this video with them. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.